Hi, I'm Amanda Shekarchi, and I am joined by Jillian Shelver, who is a singer-songwriter based in Nashville. Jillian is an artist to watch. Her introspective lyrics and engaging melodies hooked me in. The singles are Evergreen, which is out now, and the song that started it all, Reckless Commitment. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I want to start with how has growing up in a musical family influenced your passion for music?
It's definitely been a big influence. I've been really lucky to have such a supportive family through my career, and having my grandma and dad and one of my cousins be musical has been such a great source of encouragement for me. And it was something that they all encouraged me to go just explore music when I was young and just try it out, see if I liked it. And then once I found out that I did and that I was really serious about it, they all just encouraged me to go for it. And it's been a really great influence.
I love that. So you're based in Nashville now, but grew up in Seattle. What do you remember about the Seattle music scene and one of your first performances there?
Oh, that's a good question. I love the Seattle music scene. It's a lot of just independent artists and creatives, and there's so many different styles up there. There's some grunge, there's folk, pop, rock, everything in between. I One of my first performances in terms of more like pop rock stuff was at my high school with my band at the time. And I remember we were playing a cover of Wake Me Up When September Ends by Green Day. I was probably 15 years old. And I was totally nervous at first. We're doing it in front of the whole school. Let's see what happens. First time playing together live. And I just had this moment while we were playing where you can see in the video, I just kind of like loosen up and get into it. And I just realized like this is what I want to do. It's so fun to play with other people and hearing the crowd's reaction and just how fun it was to play off of each other. It was just amazing.
I love that. And then, moving to Nashville, what was your reaction when you first got there?
Oh, I was thrilled to be down here. I had visited a couple times before and just loved the energy in the city and the creativity. So when I moved down here, it just kind of felt like a huge opportunity to just step in and just dive in and see what happens and just go for it.
Definitely. And there's so many opportunities like writers' rounds and performing at bars. Like, what has that been like for you finding yourself there?
It's been awesome. I feel like you mentioned, the writers' rounds, playing at different bars and other venues has been such a good opportunity just to build a community. And Nashville, everyone's so supportive from what I've found so far. A lot of people are really willing to share resources and write, and just genuine people who want to collaborate and learn more. So it's been amazing just to have that opportunity to network, to meet other people, and just find people that I really love to collaborate with.
I love that. And one of those people is Ariana Pappas, who you wrote your co-wrote your single with, Reckless Commitment. What was that like?
Oh, it was such a fun process. She and I met through the National Songwriters Association, or NSAI as it's called. And that song, we had multiple sessions to create it. One of them, we just sat down and we were like, oh, what do we want to write? Let's write about somebody who's, non-committal. And then came up with the idea, had another session later and kind of fine-tuned it a little more, brought in different examples of things. And it was really cool just to bring it to life and see how our original demo and our original version of it turned into what it is now. And it's such a fun process and such a great collaborator, songwriter, artist. So I can't say enough good things about her.
I love that. I love her. She's became such a good friend of mine too. And like for the song, what was the production process like?
It was a really fun production. One of the cool things about being a songwriter and an artist and a composer too is having all these different sounds in my head and trying to figure out how to translate it. The original demo of Reckless Commitment was acoustic. It was a little more laid back, a little more chill, a little more flowy. And I knew I wanted to turn it into some kind of upbeat pop rock song. So it was sitting down with my producer, Jess Solberg, and saying, okay, how are we going to do this? Here's the riff, but what else do we want? Let's add some guitar solos. Let's add in these big drums. Let's just have this momentum going throughout the song and just figure out how to tell the story musically in the same way that the lyrics reflected. So it was a really, really fun process. And we both just had a blast doing it.
I absolutely love that. And now I want to talk about your latest single, Evergreen. And what does the song mean to you now? Because I know that you wrote it kind of years before and then came back to it recently.
I did. This song has only become more and more relevant in my life. I wrote it coming out of my first semester of college. I'd gone to college pretty close to home, but it's still a big transition of, oh, you're moving away from home for the first time, you're out on your own, and but then coming back and having that. So then the opportunity to record it after moving 2,000 miles away from home and fully uprooting myself, for lack of a better term, or could be very relevant to the song, has been really, really special just in how I've been able to reflect on what home means to me and what that growth and my journey has brought to the song. I feel like I can look at it now with a lot more depth and a lot more appreciation, even that I had when I originally wrote it. So it's been a really amazing relationship to have with the song, to grow with it, whilst parts of the song have stayed the same too.
Definitely. And like all these lyrics are so raw and personal, but is there a line in that song that really like stands out to you?
Ooh, I that's a hard one. I really like I did something intentionally with the songwriting where the first chorus ends on some colors won't fade. The second chorus ends on don't you grow away. And then originally I changed a little bit in the recorded version, but originally the last chorus ended with steady your roots and stay. So it was kind of this, I love that like trio of lyrics because they kind of represent the song of like you're kind of accepting that there's some things don't change, and then it's that idea of, okay, now that you're recognizing that, don't leave those things behind. The things that aren't changing, let them be there. And then once you grow and you've become more of who you are and expanded yourself in so many ways, that idea of coming to terms with who you are at your core and like really just settling into that, the idea of like the steady your roots and stay, I think is really, really cool. And then I like the last lyric with that too, where it's like, it's all right and I'm okay. It'll always be there anyway. That goes back to the first verse of the song, but just changes the lyrics just slightly to show that realization and that understanding of, I've grown all these things, but the more that I've grown, the more I've kind of come back to myself and realized how much my roots define me.
For sure. And let's go deeper. What was this inspiration? Because I know we talked about
Mhm.
how, in a way, this song has to do with, your experience in the music industry.
Mhm.
Talk to me more about that.
So the song has like multiple meanings to me, and some of it's just about growing up and, not losing touch with who you are at your roots. Like when I go home, I feel like I can reconnect with like my truest self and who grew up in that environment. But the music thing, that's been a really fun journey to be on because the song originally came out of a time where I got off to college. I was studying classical composition, film composition, and still doing some songwriting, but had kind of focused more on classical music. And I guess part of me was a little bit afraid that by studying classical music and dedicating so much time to it, I might lose that part of myself that was more the pop rock or not really be able to invest as much into it. And I've been dealing with a little bit of writer's block when I was writing the song, but it just came so naturally that the song itself was a really cool reminder of like, no, this is that you're good at and like something that I really love and enjoy. So then being able to do it in Nashville after having made that move to pursue music was just a really cool kind of full circle moment of, wow, okay, you wrote this song at a time where you were worried about not being able to do this specific genre. And I love classical too, don't get me wrong, but not wanting to lose that part of myself. And now here I am 8 years after I wrote it, releasing it while I live in Nashville and getting to collaborate with more people who've helped bring the journey of the song even more to life has just been like the most surreal experience.
Yeah. And I want to talk about your influence here
Mhm.
sonically. Like, who is a musician that inspired the style of this song?
I love Ed Sheeran, as you know. He's one of my biggest influences in music. I also love like Stevie Nicks. This was kind of I love Landslide. This is kind of inspired a little bit by that. Um, I also really love Hans Zimmer, and to me, it's really important to make it a very visual song where I had a very specific image in my mind of I want this to be feeling like you're driving down the road in a forest. It's kind of foggy. It just rained. Like everything's mossy and cozy and warm, and just very nature focused. But like you're going somewhere, you're going on a journey. So a couple of them have been influences in terms of sonically how this song came together.
I love that. And you mentioned an interesting aspect about, the visual
Mhm.
theme of this song. Take me through the concept of the cover art.
Yes. So I love the cover art. That is a picture of my little brother and I. We're probably around like 4 and 2 or 3, somewhere in that range in that photo. And it was taken at my great grandma's house. And we used to go and we would dump out all the coasters that she had. And she had this little wooden train set. And we would use the logs from it and play drums on the coasters. So when I was going through the song and what it meant to me, and it's a very nostalgic song, but it's also had so much life that's come out of it ever since then. I thought it would be really cool to use that photo as cover art because it's just a really full circle moment of here's me as a little tiny kid just loving playing music. And we would do it every time we'd go over there. And now here I am years later, still doing it. It was just a really fun opportunity to do that. And I actually got to play some percussion on the song too. So that was a really, really cool full circle moment of just, whoa, here's the cover art and here's what I'm doing now. Wait a minute. Like, it was amazing.
That's amazing. I love that for you. And what do
Thank
you
you.
have next going on musically that you can share?
I have a couple things going on. So while I am currently writing a summery, beachy song with my producer, so that'll be out at some point this summer. I have another song coming up this fall and just getting out there playing a lot more shows. I've been doing some film scores and things for friends of mine. So there's lots of different sounds and releases coming up really soon.
That's awesome. And I really hope
You.
one of those shows takes you to Toronto in the future.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, well, for people who want to learn more about you and your music, where can they find you?
I am all over social media and streaming platforms. For all social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all those things, it is at Jillian Shelver. It's Jillian with a J and then Shelver for my last name. And then I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all the good things. So check it out.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to speak with you. Evergreen and Reckless Commitment are both out now. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been such a treat.